Hey friend, I'm Wendy McNeil. I'm the founder of Charlie Jane Speakers, and since 2002, I've helped speakers go from, I think I want to speak, to, I just got booked. I'm a Nebraska girl living my dream of working with speakers, and in this podcast, I'm sharing simple strategies and the behind-the-scenes truth about what meeting planners actually respond to. We'll talk about pitches, talk titles, one-sheets, where to find legit opportunities, and the small moves that lead to big results. I'm a wife to my best friend of 35 years, mama to 4 amazing daughters, and nana to 12 grandbabies who totally have Nana's heart. So grab your coffee and let's get into it. Hi there, it's Wendy here. Today I'm going to talk about talk title formulas that meeting planners actually book. Talk title formulas that meeting planners actually book. Most speakers aren't getting ignored because they aren't good. They're getting ignored because their talk titles don't tell a meeting planner what the audience will walk away with. Planners, they skim fast. They skim fast. I've been working with planners and speakers for over 25 years, and I will tell you, they skim fast. And if your title feels really, blah, it's vague, it's broad, or it's too motivational-ish, it's an easy pass. Even if your talk is brilliant. But here's the good news. You don't need a new topic. You need a clear outcome. A clear outcome. And in today I'm going to talk about sharing just some simple talk title formulas, easy, right? That turn any idea into a title that signals results. So planners instantly understand the value and they think, yep, that's going to fit into our room. And then that draws them in, okay, to read more, to learn more about you. Titles don't sell topics. Titles are going to sell outcomes. I have read thousands of speaker titles over the years, and the speakers who get replies aren't always the most experienced. They're the ones with the clearest promise, clear title, clear outcome, and an easy yes. An easy yes. Why planners skip good talks? Why planners skip good talks? Meeting planners aren't trying to judge your talent. They're trying to build an agenda. They're trying to build an agenda that works for their audience. It meets the theme and it avoids, complaints. That means they're scanning for clarity. And when your title is vague, planners have to do mental work, right? What is this actually about? Or, hey, Wendy, can you tell me who is this for? I don't know. What are people going to learn? Is it a keynote? A workshop? Is it a motivational story? If they have to guess what? They are moving on, my friends. They are moving on. Your title needs a clear promise, not a topic. A topic is what you speak about. A promise is what the audience is going to get. Topic style titles usually sound like leadership in a changing world, resilience through adversity, the power of communication. Promise style titles sound like lead through change without losing your team, or bounce back faster, a 3-step reset for burnout and overwhelm, or say it so they get it, how to speak with clarity under pressure. My friends, your goal is to make your title answer one question instantly. And I want you to write this down. What outcome will this room get? What outcome are they going to get? Outcomes beat adjectives every time. So words if your words like powerful, transformational, authentic, and inspiring do not help a planner sell the session internally. What does? outcomes do, my friends. Outcomes. If you can't point to what changes after your session, your title is probably too soft. Now I want you to add the room. Okay, so now who's it for? And when's it used? Planners love talks that match a moment. Match a moment. So you can add, leaders, HR, teams, women in workplace, sales teams, new managers, high performers, entrepreneurs, caregivers, educators. And then you can add a situation like during change or after a merger, or in hybrid teams, maybe when retention is slipping or before a busy season. So instead of just having like leadership communication, try something like lead with clarity when everything is changing. Now that sounds like a real session for a real event, right? So I want you to use one of these title formulas. You can steal these perfectly fine. You can also find them on my blog if you need to come back to it and write them down. I will leave the link actually to this blog. This is a blog post about this. I will leave the link so you can find that. So I want you to use just one. There's 5 formulas, and I'm gonna give you, in this podcast, I'm just gonna give you 2, but if you want, like I said, if you want the rest of the formulas, please go to my blog and you can grab those. So formula 1 is going to be like the result and time frame. So for example, better meetings in 30 days. A simple system teams actually use. Okay, that was the result and time frame. Formula 2 is going to be like how to, and outcome, and obstacle. So that might look like how to speak up in meetings without sounding pushy. Okay, really, the titles are really, really important, my friends. So again, I'll leave the link in the blog post so you can go and get the rest of those formulas that you can copy and use for your own titles. Your outcomes need to be agenda friendly. Even if your title is strong, your outcomes can still kill the pitch if they are not clear, right? Like some weak outcomes might be like learn about leadership or understand communication or maybe feel inspired to change. But some agenda-friendly outcomes could sound like this. Use a simple framework to handle hard conversations. Or identify the 3 reasons teams resist change and what to do instead. Or maybe walk away with a respectable script for setting boundaries professionally. Okay, you want agenda-friendly outcomes. A planner should be able to paste your outcomes into an agenda and have them make sense with zero editing. Zero editing. And the number one title mistake speakers make. They title the talk based on what they want to say, right? What they want to say, not what the audience wants to get. It's a huge mistake. I have seen it over 24 years. They title the talk based on what they want to hear, or what they want to say, not what the audience wants to get. This is huge. But here's a simple change you can make. I want you to write your title like a promise. Write your outcomes like takeaways. If you do that, you'll instantly sound more bookable, even if you're competing with speakers who have been on bigger platforms. Now, on some of these podcasts that I do, I get questions over the years, and I like to throw them in here just because I feel like it will help you. And so some of the questions I get is, how many talk titles should I have? How many talk titles should I have? A lot of you may have heard me say 1. I am big on a keynote, one keynote talk, your signature keynote talk. But if you are not there yet, and I know that some speakers have multiple titles, multiple talks, and that is okay. So I would say start with 2, maybe 3 strong outcome-based talks. That's enough to pitch consistently without sounding scattered. Another question is, should my title be clever? Well, clever is optional, but clear is definitely required. So if you want clever, make it the subtitle, but not the main title. Another question, do I need different titles for corporate versus conferences? Yes, sometimes, because corporate likes more direct outcomes where conferences can handle slightly more, some creative framing. So either way, outcomes is going to win. And another question is, how do I know if my outcomes are strong? Well, if a planner can copy and paste them into an agenda and it sounds specific and useful, you're good. All right, you're good. If you want help turning your idea into titles that planners actually book and grab the talk title and outcomes, it's an outcome builder actually. You input it, it's on a spreadsheet, and it kind of spits out outcomes for you. It's pretty cool actually. I will leave the link in the show notes if you want to grab that to help you create your own talk title and the outcomes. Also, I like to give away a freebie in my podcast, and I always give away the list, of 50 events that are currently looking for speakers today. So you can hop over and look at that sheet. We do change those out every couple months, or maybe as the deadlines expire. So put yourself out there. Oh, one more thing. Almost forgot to invite you to our Facebook group. It's called Breakthrough Public Speakers. It is an amazing group. We have speakers in there. I believe we're over 20,000 now, and some are just kind of like thinking about it, and some are, they've been in the industry for well over 30 years. It's a powerhouse of information, and you will not be disappointed, my friends. So I will leave the link in the show notes so you can find that. And I will talk to y'all later. Bye.